Hello everybody, Ross here from mcfcfantv, just bringing you a quick stream with regards to tonight's Champions League game away from home in Paris, PSG versus City. Pretty disappointed. I'm sure quite a lot of Blues out there are disappointed in the game. However, that said, on a positive, this is the one game out of the 3 games coming up, that being Chelsea last week, great performance, great win, tonight's game, and Liverpool at the weekend, where I would have took a defeat or a poorer performance in this game rather than one of the other 2 matches, one of them only remaining now, and a place that we don't particularly do well. So don't be too disheartened. I think there was always going to be a bit of a bump in the road in these 3 games, and hopefully it's come this evening in Paris. So looking at the lineups, there was only actually 2 changes from the Chelsea game, which I was pretty surprised with actually, with these 3 games coming in pretty short space of time against really strong sides. So Mahrez came in and Foden missed out. Who can forget Mahrez's great performances against PSG last season? So maybe that was part of Pep's thinking. Also, Gabby one goal after his goal at the weekend. He dropped to the bench, and Raheem Sterling came in, playing in a false 9 role. So again, obviously, no centre forward. That front 3 without a recognised out-and-out striker. And maybe these are the games where that's showing we really miss that centre forward, but who knows? There has been a lot of debate in the past few weeks about City not scoring goals. I'm not sure that's exactly true, but maybe there are games where an out-and-out centre forward is something we really will miss this season, but who knows? Let's stay tuned. It's not all doom and gloom at the moment. We are pretty high up in the league, second, only a point behind, so we're not too far away, despite our terrible start to the season, which a lot of the media are reporting. Obviously, lots of pre-game hype around this game, the association between Messi and Pep, and I suppose Messi and City after how many links he's had in the last few years. The games which we've had in, especially last season, not that far away. The semi-final, so obviously PSG wanted to get one back over us, I suppose. And yeah, the media jumping on a lot of this game, but who couldn't really? 2 really good teams, 2 teams doing well in their respective leagues, and lots of great players in both sides. So bit of an embarrassment of riches really, and I'm sure that the UEFA Champions League, these are the games that it's all about, and I'm sure this attracted a lot of viewers worldwide. So let's get into the game. I think City had, well, a lot of possession in certain areas of the game, but again, we just didn't have that final ball, or for me, enough shots on goal, on target. I thought the keeper did okay. He's a Weetabix keeper for me sometimes. He loves the save for a camera. I think some of the shots that went in and the crosses he probably could have caught or punched, and he flapped a little bit. But I thought he did have a good game there, keeper. And I don't really think we troubled them that much. I think when PSG went forward, especially on their right hand side and down our left, which we'll get into a little bit in the player ratings, I think they looked dangerous. And obviously 3 great players up the top in Messi, Neymar and Mbappe, so who wouldn't look dangerous with those 3? But I think they definitely isolated our left-hand side at times as a weakness. I think there was far too many times when the back 2 of Laporte and Diaz, and even Walker, had to get across there and cover. So a little bit disappointing for me. I think a lot of players tonight just didn't really turn up. I thought they were quite leggy. I thought at points some players looked good, looked up for it, but then just disappeared. I think we've all spoke on the channel before about certain players. Bernardo, for me, is a player who every time he goes on the pitch, he gives 110%. That guy runs through a brick wall for Pep and City. However, the end product sometimes leaves a lot to be desired for me. And I actually think in the second half, he actually faded out of the game. Now, whether that was because of the miss, And let's be honest, that is a big miss. Luckily for him, he's not Raheem Sterling or probably Gabby as well, because I can imagine what fans would be jumping on if that miss had happened from another player. But for me, I suppose that's the old debate that people do bring in about Bernardo, about not scoring enough, not assisting enough. That is a side of his game he needs to improve. But let's just remember as well, before we start jumping on the back of, you know, the likes of Bernardo, Mahrez, Sterling, even Gabby to some extent, they are not out and out centre forwards. But we are now counting on them to score the goals. So again, I'm sure it's something we'll talk about for a lot during the season, as the season goes on. Obviously, the January transfer windows, Pep's going to get asked about it at every press conference when we fail to score or we don't take chances. So it's nothing new. We all know. But yeah, a little bit disappointing for me going forward as well as at the back this evening. Okay, on to the midfield, and we'll start with Rodri. Not his worst game, but not his best either, which is pretty similar to a lot of players in tonight's team. For me, I do worry about the pace, especially against a midfield which had a lot of pace in it, and an attack that's obviously got a lot of pace in it. And for me, he just labours on the ball sometimes. He did try. I don't think there's any of those questions that he doesn't try. He doesn't want to play well. But for me, I think against certain teams, he just doesn't look at it. He looked a bit leggy to me tonight. And again, yeah, I mean, I'm going to give Rodri a 6. Same as Laporte and Diaz tonight. Nothing really to write home about. Let's see what Stuart Brennan and you guys think in the comments. So Stuart Brennan tried manfully to keep the ball penned in the PSG half and succeeded for long spells. Did some decent defensive work too. 7. I think you can see from the comments in the MEN as well as my own, it's really hard to actually say a lot about players from this game. It was sort of one of them games which was just like, oh, when's it going to end? And I just couldn't see us scoring. So I think that's coming across in a lot of these comments. So let's move on. Next up is Bernardo Silva. Yeah, does he put a shift in, and did he put a shift in? Unbelievable. Yes, he did. However, I think he went missing, and he went missing after that miss. And he's very lucky, as I said earlier in the stream. There would be blues if it wasn't Silva. And let's face it, there is a bit of a love-in for the guy because he runs about a lot and he puts it in. But there's a question mark on his goals. There's a question mark on his assists, which is why probably Pep was looking potentially, if the rumours are true, to move him on. I think he's an absolutely fantastic player. But would he be in my best 11 when you've got players like Foden on the bench? I'm not quite sure. But like I say, unbelievable player, unbelievable talent. There's some great pieces of skill. He started the game really well, but he just went missing. And yeah, the miss, the game, it was a turning point in the game for me. You can't be missing and you can't be blaming a push. It was just a poor miss. And like I say, can you imagine the reports, socials, Twitter, etc., if Sterling would have missed that? It would be unbelievable. But anyway, let's see what Stuart Brennan says in the MEN. Another almighty shift from the Duracell man, but how did he miss from a yard out? He gave him a 6. I'm going to give him a 5. I just can't see past a 5. On to KDB. Could say he was lucky. Think yellow was probably the right decision. I don't think there was malice in the tackle. He was reaching out, but you've seen him given, and I've seen, probably myself in some instances up against it in a game like that. You'd want a red coming out there. Potentially, I think because it was KDB, we got away with it. I think potentially if it Rodri, maybe Diaz or a Walker, I think a red might have come out, but who knows? It was a yellow. Again, I just don't think Kev at the moment can play the 2 games in such a short period of time. He still seems a little bit off the pace. There was some really good pieces of standard KDB in there. and he is a focal point to the team when he plays. I'm going to give him a 6. Again, not his worst game, but far from best. So let's see what the MEN says. Kevin De Bruyne, still not at 100%, but his best moment was wasted by Sterling and Bernardo. So there you go. So his best moment, and there you go through the media, wasted by Sterling. Yeah, interesting how the press perceives certain players. So moving on, Riyad Mahrez, another, as I would call it, Marmite player in the Man City side. I think he was probably our best attacking threat in the game. Final ball wasn't great. Probably held on to it a little bit too long in some instances. Should have got the shot off. But again, I'm just going to give Mahrez a 6 in this game. Looking at some of the other ratings that I've give, I think that's pretty fair. 7.5 is the highest so far, and I think that's going to claim man of the match. So Mahrez, 6. Let's see what the MEN says. Presented plenty of threat, but took the selfish option a couple of times and had too little end product. 5. So again, guys, all about what you think in the comments. Please put in the comments below your ratings for the players and your comments on the match for that instance, or hit me up on Twitter at BlueRossi8 and we can have a chat on there. Obviously, this stream is not live, coming out pre-recorded due to the time difference. So on to the final of the front three, or final two of the front three, sorry, Raheem Sterling. Again, I just think Sterling is so much better in the side when a striker plays. Personal opinion, he does score goals when a striker plays, and he looks a bit out of sorts at the moment in the City side. So that's it for me. Like I said, quick one tonight just to give you my few quick views on the game and also player ratings. Please don't forget to subscribe and like, share, and also click the bell notification to make sure you are notified when we put these streams on, as well as the live streams. We will be back, obviously Tom on Thursday evening, and maybe a debut single performance for Ross on Friday Night Social. Who knows? I think Andy's busy this week away with work, but we do want to get some content out there for you guys and give you the opportunity. So obviously, by all means, let us know if you'd like to see a Friday Night Social. We'll try and pull something together, and maybe you'll see me a little bit later in the week. Friday night for you guys, Saturday morning for me. So please don't be too disheartened on tonight's game. We've got 3 big games coming up. Still plenty of opportunity in our group of the Champions League. We've already got a win, so whilst it makes it a little bit tighter, it's probably the most difficult away game out of the way. No surprises for me. Like I say, this is the one where I would have preferred a draw, obviously, but took the loss. But if we can get 3 points at the weekend, that will more than make up for it, which for me is an even tougher game. We've not got a great record there. But anyway, we'll talk more about that later in the week. So I've been Ross. This is Man City Fan TV. Thanks for joining us. Please comment, please share, subscribe and like, and we will see you later in the week. Bye for now.